Good afternoon, everybody. I am Rosemary Gutierrez-Coarite. I am an assistant extension agent on edible crops for Maui County. And I joined the Taro project on 2019. Since then, we conducted 2 field trials. We conducted a poi testing evaluation, and also we distribute Taro hulis to the growers. My talk will cover the results of on-farm taro variety trials by Maui taro growers. If you have any questions, please type them into the chat box. They will be answered later during the question and answer section. First of all, I will give you a short background of our trials in Maui. These trials were conducted in Kula Agricultural Park. We tested 13 different varieties. And here are the pictures of some of them, and where you can see the different shapes and different colors of these varieties. We evaluate these varieties for yield production and also for corn rod evaluation. Our trials results show that the best yielding varieties were the 10-05-84 variety, also the 10-16-19, the 10-25-175, the 10-24-15, and the 10-25-65 varieties. All of these varieties resulted in 3 times higher yield than Maui Lehua variety. The corn rod percent on these varieties were very low. The maximum corn rod percent was 5% in the varieties of 10-27-133 and in the variety 10-03-13. The results of our poi testing test is shown in this graph. The most preferred variety for poi was the 10-24-15 variety, and the least preferred variety for poi was the 10-25-65 variety. If you see in this graph, the best preferred variety, 10-24-15, got better results than Maui Lehua poi in all the qualities tested: thickness, taro flavor, sweetness, color, and overall poi. In September of 2020, we distribute taro corms from our last trial to the growers that want to taste the different varieties and make an evaluation. Growers tasted the different taro varieties to select the varieties they will like to grow on their farms. A month later, of the corn distribution, we conducted a field day to provide the results of our last trial, the results of yield and the corn rot on these varieties. Also, we distribute the hulis of these varieties to taro growers that want to grow them in their farms. 85% of the growers that attended the field day decided to grow the taro leaf blight resistant varieties on their farms. They select the varieties based on their own tasting evaluation conducted in their homes. Most of the growers indicated that they tasted the taro as table taro rather than as a pulp. This graph indicates the preference of the taro growers on the taro varieties. As you can see in this graph, the variety 1024 to 15 and the variety 1025 to 299 were the most preferred varieties, and they were taken home for on-farm trials. After about 10 months of the hulis distribution, we conducted a survey to the growers, and we have the following questions for them. Which varieties were high yielding? Which varieties had little or no corn rot? Which varieties were good as a table taro? Which varieties made good poi? Which varieties were good for luau leaf? And which varieties would you like to keep growing? So the result of these surveys for the first question was, which ones were high yielding? And most of the respondents or growers indicated that the varieties 1024 to 15 and the variety 1003 13 were the varieties with higher yielding. In the comment section, one grower commented that the varieties 1024 to 15 and 1003 13 produced the biggest corns. Another farmer commented that people in the farmers market prefer to buy the big corns. For the question, which ones had little or no corn rot? Most of the respondents says that the variety 1024 to 15 had no corn rot or very little. Also, the varieties 10, 10, 16, 1025, 175, 1025, 133, and 1003, 13 were indicated as don't have corn rot. In the comment section, one respondent says that all the other ones were rotted, maybe because I harvested late. For the question, which ones were good as a table taro? The respondents indicate that only 8 varieties out of the 13 varieties are good for table taro. And the most preferred varieties for table taro were the 1024 to 15 and the 1003 13 varieties. In the comments section, one grower said that 100313 and the 1024 to 15 are very good for table taro. Another grower said that I used the 100313 taro in chicken soup instead of potatoes. I also make taro fritters by grating the taro. It was delicious. For the question, which ones made good poi? Most of the respondents said that the variety 1024 to 15 was the best for poi. And also, some of the respondents said that varieties 1016, 19, 1025, 299, and 1010-6 were good for poi. In the comment section, one grower said that the 1024 to 15 variety tasted the same as Maui Lehua poi. For the question, which ones were good for luau leaf? Most of the respondents says that the variety 1024 to 15 was the best for luau leaf. However, not many growers responded to this question. Only 3 growers responded to this question. And in the comment sections, one grower said, I did not try it because the leaves were too big and tough. For the last question of the survey, which ones would you like to keep growing? Only 5 varieties out of the 13 varieties were selected to keep growing by the growers. And the most preferred variety for keep growing it was the 1024 to 15 variety. In the comment section, a grower said, we'll keep growing them because I have a market for them. Another grower says, we'll keep growing for my own consumption and to sell in the farmer's market. Another comment was, we'll keep growing them because they are resistant to leaf blight disease, which is very common in haiku. And this is the picture of the most preferred variety to keep growing it for the growers. As a summary of the survey, we can say that most varieties with high yield resulted with little or no common rot for the growers. Most of the varieties are better for table taro than for making poi. Growers will keep growing the varieties with high yielding. Growers are including the taro varieties to their cropping systems. And growers are adopting to new technology to avoid taro leaf blight disease. I want to give a big mahalo to all the growers that collaborate with this project, to the growers that attended to my field days and workshops, and also thank you to you for listening. And if you have any question, please write it in the chat box. I would like to thank to the farm managers, Pamela Shingaki and Edwin Perez, and to the agricultural technicians at the Kula Agricultural Park, R. Fujitani, War Murashige, and Mark Kubo. Also, I want to give a special thanks to Robin Shimabuku and Kylie Tavares, that are extension agents that were working on this project before me. Our next talk will be by Dr. Michael Cantar. Thanks to everyone.